Dr. Bauer lays out his position on consensus thinking or knowledge monopolies as he terms it, that outright banish those who hold dissenting views. Alex Sakaris, I love the phrase that I think captures a lot of this, the suppression of competent minority views. That's what I think you're kind of battling against. In your book, you introduce two phrases that I think encapsulate a lot of the ideas you're talking about, knowledge monopolies and research cartels. Tell folks what you mean. Dr. Henry Bauer, knowledge monopolies I would define as something that has come to be so generally accepted that almost everybody believes it to be true. And anybody who denies it is more or less automatically regarded as a kook. Alex Sakaris, a couple of quick examples that you mention in the book, and that some people will be familiar with. HIV causes AIDS. Second, global warming. A third is the Big Bang Theory. All of these are outlined in the book, and I think the position you take is not coming down strongly that a particular contrary view deserves our overthrowing of the consensus view, but just that there needs to be more of a give and take of exploring the incompleteness of the accepted knowledge monopolies. Would you agree with that? Dr. Henry Bauer, yes, exactly. I think I acknowledge that I personally happen to be on the dissident side of those things, but the point of the book is not to convince other people of that. It is to convince people that there hasn't been a proper engagement between the mainstream view and the dissident view. That's really the crux of the problem. You can publish critiques even in some pretty well-established publishing houses, but you cannot force the prevailing experts to answer. And so you have these in effect research cartels, because nowadays it's very difficult to find any areas in which you can do research without considerable resources, which means the research that gets done is pretty much determined by the people who hold the purse strings. Those people take their advice, of course, from the recognized mainstream experts. So there's a lack of a forum. A lack of a place where the two or more points of view can engage in a substantive way, where they can argue in a way that they're forced to answer one another specifically, that they cannot evade one another. And I've come more and more to the notion that what we need is a so-called science court. This is something that was actually proposed 50 or more years ago. Just after the Second World War, there was a lot of to-do about the possible safety or otherwise of nuclear power.